Hello and welcome back. My name is Amir and this is project-euler series, puzzle number 44, I believe. Yes. Okay, let's go and see. We have the Pentagon numbers, problem number 44. Pentagon numbers are generated by the formula P of n is n times 3n minus 1 divided by 2. The first 10 numbers are like these, and it can be seen that P of 4 plus P of 7 is this number. The P of 8, 92, but the difference between 70 and 22 is 48, is not pentagonal. Find the pair of pentagonal numbers pj and pk for which their sum and their difference are pentagonal, and d, which is the difference between them, is the minimized. What is the value of the minimized d? Okay, in order to solve that, we need to have a infinite while loop and find the pentagonal number and see if the pentagonal number that we have found is the minimum or not. So let's start with coding and I will explain as I go along. So this is the minimum, which means that we have not found anything yet. If we get to a positive number, then it means that we have found something, and we will console log that one. Then I have the I equals 2 starting at 2, and we will go for ever, which is a while of forever, until we find something that we could break out of this while loop. We would say that pentagonal number of I is pentagonal number of I, and if the next number down is at least as big as what we have found, we would break. We have found something. Otherwise, we will go on. So I would say if the min d is not -1, we have found something, and this number, pen of I minus pentagonal number 1 less than I, is bigger or equal to min d. If this has happened, we will just break. Let me make it like this. So again, if the next number down, going downwards, is at least as big as what we found, we are done with the search, we will break. Otherwise, which is usually the case, we need to go downwards until we find something. So I would say go from j equals to let's say I minus 1 until j is greater or equal to 1, and we are going downwards. Find the pentagonal of G to be the pentagonal number of J, not G, and we would say that the diff of the two is pen I minus pen J, and if this difference is at least as big as a found difference, then we are done. We can break again. So I would say if min d is not -1 and the diff that we have calculated is bigger than or equal to min d, then we are done. We need to break from the for loop. Else, if this is not the case, else if the sum of the two numbers is pentagonal and the difference is pentagonal, then we would set the min d as diff, and then we'll go back to the for loop. So we would say if is pentagonal number of pen I plus pen j and is pentagonal number the diff that we have found, then min d is diff, and here when the for loop is done we will just add to the I, and in the end when I break out of the while loop we have found the min d and we can log it like so. Now I need to write these two functions. So I would say function this, it takes a index like so, and it would just return this value that we have here, x times 3 minus 1 divided by 2. Let's do it like this. The other one that is checking is something is pentagonal or not, let's call it y. Here we would check that if y is in the form of this formula, we could say that if y is this value, to understand that we need to find the x in terms of y. So it would be like x times 3 is 3x2 divided by 2 minus x divided by 2 equals to y. Then multiply both parts by 2 and bring y to the left, so it's 3x2 minus x minus 2y equals to 0. And if we get the delta of this, the delta would be 24y plus 1. The square root of this value should be positive, and then we should say that the square root of this value, so I would just say write the square root of this value, then plus 1, which is b minus b, and all of that over 2a, which is 6. You remember the formula minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, that is written here. So we need to have this value for x. This value should be available. So we can find a value for x if 24y plus 1 is a valid perfect square, so to say, and this value divided by 6 is a whole number. So in other words, this modulus 6 is 0. So we need to check these two things here. I would say that our temp is the value that I have here, y times 24 plus 1, and square root is the math dot square root of temp, and we would return that if the square root times square root, return like so, square root times square root equals to temp, and square root modulus 6 is 5. So this means that if this part is divisible by 6 and I remove the 1 from it, it will be it will get the remainder of 5 when it's divided by 6. So that's about this part. Let's run it and see. Awesome. Thank you for watching. The link to the GitHub is in the description. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you and have a great day.